Today we're doing something a bit mean but very satisfying. Ranking the worst bosses from across the Soulsborne family, and Lies of P, yes, is included. I consider him as one of us. And if you don't agree with me, well...
Look, just take it. Do I look like I... Look at me. Look, no, Sharice, look at me. Do I look like I can't?
These are not the hardest, not the coolest. The ones that make you rage quit, throw your controller, or mutter a string of words you'd normally say for a private journal, like Arthur's journal. I don't even know why I just brought up Arthur here. I pulled the community, dug into firms, and most importantly, endured these fights so you don't have to. We'll count down from 12 to the king of cheapness at number 1. There will be tips, I don't think about that one, but some hot takes and yes, some very understandable hatred. Smash that like button if you relate, subscribe if you want more salty takes, and let's get into it. Kicking off at number 12 is Sekiro's Demon of Hatred. This one sits low on the list because it's simultaneously impressive and deeply frustrating. Visually and thematically, it's wild, enormous, angry, and loud. But what about the problem? The fight often trades on a spectacle rather than satisfying combat depth. It can feel like dodging a long list of one-shot animations more than a tactical duel. The Demon of Hatred is one of Sekiro's most infamous optional bosses. My guy is consumed by the flames of hatred. He transforms into a hulking demon. It's a fight filled with tragedy and spectacle, but also plenty of cheap mechanics. There is a lot of punishing arena geometry and huge hitboxes, moments of unavoidable damage due to animation timings. The fight doesn't feel like Sekiro, it plays closer to a Dark Souls encounter, emphasizing dodging and running instead of tight deflects. His massive sweeping attacks often clip through terrain, making spacing awkward. The arena is huge, but camera lock-on makes it a nightmare. This fight is meant to hurt, narratively. The guy is the one who once guided you, the man who succumbs to inner demons. Killing him is mercy, but the game doesn't let you forget the cost. These kind of moments always reminds me of Lord of the Ring ending. Like, yeah, you move on, but the scars are still there. I wanted to do something poetic here, but I think I failed. At number 11, we have Lies of P's Green Monster of the Swamp. This fight rubs people the wrong way because it's less about learning a pattern and more about surviving a messy physic encounter in cramped space. The Green Monster of the Swamp might be one of Lies of P's most divisive bosses. This grotesque thing feels like a fever dream pulled out of Bloodborne, but sadly, its fight mechanics are more frustrating than fun. The swamp setting creates constant visual noise. It's hard to read telegraphs through the muck. This guy's erratic movements and multi-hit chains are poorly synced with dodge frames, and stagger mechanics feel inconsistent, making the fight drag. The creature embodies the decay and corruption overtaking Karat. It's literally a manifestation of disease and filth, standing as a roadblock between you and the deeper truths of the city. Number 10 is the Dragon God from Demon's Souls. Fans remember this one for being a lore-heavy spectacle that translates poorly into an engaging boss fight. A lot of players call it a set piece rather than a duel. This lengthy sax or whatever the boss name could be in Elden Ring is FromSoftware's attempt to wow players with a scale and cinematic presentation, and while the cutscenes impress, the gameplay leaves a lot to be desired. A lot of fight feels scripted and about surviving scripted events rather than expressive combat. The pacing is off. Long cinematic beats than short windows of action can feel like you're being punished for not noticing obscure mechanics. It's basically a puzzle. Dodge, rubble, sneak between pillars. It's not a duel. If you don't know the gimmick, you just die instantly, repeatedly. Replay value is minimal. Once you solve the puzzle, the tension evaporates. The Dragon God is one of the archdemons, a beast worshipped and feared. It's kind of a clickbait. You think that this is going to be the best boss in the game, but then when you meet it, you just find out that this is probably the worst one. Coming in at number 9, Sekiro's Snake Eyes Shurahage. I hope I'm saying his name right. Sekiro is famous for precision combat, and that's why this boss is so frustrating. When one mistake equals a long sequence of punishment, the fight stops feeling like fair challenge. Snake Eyes Shurahage is one of those mini-bosses that lives in infamy. She isn't flashy, but she's incredibly punishing. A gun-wielding bruiser in a tight, swampy arena, the worst mix possible. This boss made me to quit the game for about 5 days. I almost dropped the game because of this boss. It's not even that hard, it's just not right. I don't know, I don't like it. Extremely tight windows for parry deflects, punishing platform or arena moments where one slip becomes a wipe. High mechanical ceiling but shallow forgiveness. Rifle blasts stagger you into her melee combos, and the terrain restricts movement, so dodging sideways often fails. Her grab move is almost instant and devastating. She's part of the Interior Ministry forces holding Ishina under siege. A human reminder that Sekiro's enemies aren't just monsters and spirits, but merciless soldiers. Dark Souls 3's Deacons of the Deep. Players call this boss garbage. Not because it's hard, but because it's anticlimactic and unintuitive. A crowd management core that leans on cheap group mechanics. Deacons of the Deep might be one of the least respected bosses in this series. I mean, a lot of people talk about how great Dark Souls 3's bosses are, but nobody even mentions this boss. Instead of a duel, it's a chaotic crowd fight with vague rules. But it's easy though. I'm not talking about how hard it is or not, but I'm just saying how weird and bad the boss fight is. The fight is more about zoning and timing than a memorable boss identity. Weird hitboxes and cluttered visuals, some mechanics feel like they punish exploration choices. You know the thing, it boils down to find the glowing one and hit him repeatedly. Damage comes less from bosses, more from endless mobs and hex spam. I mean, there is no boss actually, there's just enemies there. It's anticlimactic compared to the build-up. The cathedral and Lord tease something far more epic. But you know the Lord, the Deacons are Aldrich's fanatical servants. They're literally a human shield protecting his coffin, sacrificing themselves to preserve his remains. Who would do that? He killed like thousands of people and he's definitely, if not the worst guy in the game, the second worst guy. The other one is also connected to him. I'm talking about Pensive Sullivan, which we already talked about these people in this video, but the worst out of all of this is that he killed my femboy. You can't just do that and get away with it. Elden Ring Double Crucible Knight. Two heavily armored knights sharing the stage. Sounds epic, right? But in practice, it's a brutal dance of stagger, poke, and long recovery windows that feels unfair when both are active. Crucible Knights one-on-one are tough but fair, but two at once? Bro, like that's Elden Ring at its most sadistic. And I get it, some people actually like this boss fight, but the first time that I actually encountered this boss fight, I just moved on. I never actually killed these people. Came back in the second run. One-on-one the knight can be fair. Two at once multiplies their strengths and removes openings. The arena often gives them space to chain attacks, leading to long stun locks. Rolling through attacks is risky, parry windows are really tiny, and both knights chain massive combos with almost no downtime. Dodging one means eating the other's attack, and the camera and narrow arena work against you. The Crucible Knights are relics of primordial Earth Tree order, so facing two of them isn't just cruel, it's FromSoftware flexing that these holy warriors were meant to overwhelm. Or maybe they just ran out of ideas and just said, yeah, I mean, just copy and paste the other one that we made in Leyndell, but this time make it two. But why, my lord? They're going to suffer more. Johnny, this is the whole point of this boss. You don't get it. DS2's Elena. This boss divides the community. Some find her atmospheric and tragic, others find mechanics cheap. Often, the issue is hitbox weirdness and punishing poise rules that make single mistakes fatal. Elena is memorable, but for many, for the wrong reasons. She's basically Nishandra 2.0, but with the added insult of summoning skeletons and Velstadt meet fight. I'm really tired of denying that Elena really looks or is basically the same as the witch in Clash Royale. I don't even know why they just so look alike. This is kinda sus, by the way. Odd hit detections leading to unfair trades, parry windows and poison interact oddly with certain builds, and her moveset sometimes reads like a roulette wheel, predictable but devastating. RNG summons, sometimes manageable skeletons, sometimes Velstadt the Nightmare. Or sorceries hit like trucks and track oddly. The fight feels cheap, with mechanics piled on top of each other. Elena is one of Manu's fragmented offspring, embodying his dark will. She uses her manipulative power to summon and corrupt, tying back to the abyss spreading across Drangleic. It's basically, as I said, Nishandra 2.0. Bloodborne's The One Reborn. This one is an aesthetic nightmare, a patchwork horror with an arena that can feel confusing and gimmicky. The boss's attacks can be hard to telegraph in the chaos. The One Reborn is a nightmare fuel, but mechanically it's a slog. It drops from the sky in a rain of gore, and it kinda looks amazing until you realize the fight is just a mess. I had a lot of bad memories with this guy, to be honest. The boss is visually grotesque and its attacks come from many angles. Summonable and add waves make it feel less like a boss fight and more like a bad stage. Some second phase mechanics feel arbitrary. Endless mobs of pale maidens casting spells, and the boss itself is a hitbox nightmare, with random limbs smacking the shit out of you off screen. The fight drags unless you optimize damage, making it feel repetitive. The One Reborn is literally the result of Yarnam's rituals, a failed god, born from blood rituals and corpses. It's cosmic horror, but also commentary on ambition gone wrong. So basically it is connected to its lore. You can justify it on that term, that why the boss feels like this, but still, even though I don't really like this boss as much as other bosses in Bloodborne, but because it's bad, I actually enjoyed it. I don't know how to explain, but it's really bad, but at the same time it's really memorable, which is weird. Demon's Souls Man-Eater. It's on this list because it feels like a relic of older, clunkier boss design. Big hitboxes, unpredictable limb hits, and a general feeling that the rules are different from the rest of the game. This guy is kinda infamous not just because of the boss, but because of the arena. A tiny bridge above a bottomless pit. One wrong roll and it's over for you. His attacks kinda look missable but still hit. Slow telegraphs that still somehow clip the player, and the narrow bridge gives no space to dodge. You fight one of these dumbass creatures until a second spawns halfway through, and the camera makes flying attacks a nightmare. The man-eaters are twisted remnants of demons spawned by the Tower of Lateria or whatever, and they guard the old monk's tower. Bit of chaos, oh yes, the boss meme. This one's famous for all the wrong reasons: platforming elements, insta-death pits, and a fight that punishes pure Souls combat etiquette. Like, even the whole arena, the Lost Izalith, is a bad place to start with, and this one is not just bad, it's legendary bad. Platforming in Dark Souls rarely works, and this boss definitely proves it. The fight replaces a duel with environmental puzzles and RNG platforming. You can do everything right and still get wiped by weird physics. It undermines the whole learn the boss philosophy of Dark Souls. Attacks that sweep across the arena regardless of positioning. The final dash to its core is pure RNG. The Witch of Izalith attempted to create a new flame of chaos and birthed this dumbass, or abomination. It's a god's mistake, a living embodiment of failed creation. You can actually switch the Witch of Izalith with FromSoftware and it wouldn't change anything.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one.
Here's 2's Royal Rat Authority, a fight that combines an annoying arena, relentless ads, and weird movement into a perfectionist storm of annoyance. It's beloved by some but widely reviled for its cheapness. The Royal Rat Authority is basically FromSoftware trolling players. I mean, even the name is basically not right, because how can you mistake this wolf to a bloody rat? I mean, and before you even face the big dog rat, 4 smaller rats swarm you, basically trolling you. Ads spawn and control space, turning the fight into a mess, and attacks that chain into stuns and long recovery windows makes the boss kind of weird. The boss's attacks are oversized, making dodging inconsistent. The fight feels unfair from the first second, but the Rat King's guardians, grotesque watchdogs, exist purely to punish explorers, so basically it's canonical. And the worst of worst, the champion of cheapness on this list, Demon Firesage, Dark Souls 1. Why does this one win the crown? Because it blends poor arena design, sudden high damage, and a pacing that feels arbitrary. I mean, the guy is essentially a reskinned Asylum demon, but harder, cheaper, and with worse arena design. The arena and camera can conspire to make reads harder. The fight frequently feels less about skill and more about surviving a barrage of poorly telegraphed hits. My guy is recycled content, a 3rd time fighting the same demon. I mean, we even have this guy in Dark Souls 3. Jesus Christ, even Air3 avatars are the same people, they just have the Elden Ring style of their own. The cramped arena make the camera your biggest enemy, and to be honest, the main reason that I actually placed this one as the worst of worst was the reason that his weakness is fire. I'm not even joking. If you even care about the lore, the Firesage is a demon who gained power from Chaos Flame corruption. Mechanically though, it's lazy design, padding disguised as challenge. Okay, there you have it. The worst bosses across the Souls family, ranked. A few parting thoughts though. Sometimes a bad boss is beloved for lore or atmosphere, and sometimes it's just a design miss. Also remember that difficulty is subjective. What ruins the experience for one player is a memorable challenge for another. Which boss didn't belong here though? Which one should have been at number 1? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. If you want a follow-up, I can rank the most satisfying bosses, or do a deep dive on the worst mechanics that keep showing up across these games. Thanks for watching. Sometimes, you beat the boss, sometimes the boss beats your sanity. It's something that always happens. See you next time, and may the flames guide your way.